Hello and welcome to busyworksbeats.com. Today we continue the mixing series right here at busyworksbeats.com/premium. Today I'm going to reveal my 10 favorite creative melody effects plugins you guys can use to really make your melodies unique. So I'll just go through the list. Firstly, we have H3000 by Eventide. This is pretty rare, and it's just, you know, think of producers like Kanye, that type of sound. So the way I use it is simply understanding that it just has a bunch of great presets, and if I have to tweak something, I'll go in to figure out how to tweak it. I rarely tweak stuff, it just sounds good. And I use the mix levels right on the front panel. So here, let's turn the mix level down. So again, we're just going through presets here. And there's a mix level right here as well. It's just quick creative effects that add a really unique thing to your melodies and beats. So you can tell a sound designer made this plugin is what I'm saying here. Now most people think, when you think of Eventide, you think of the H9 plugin, but this one's different. Next up is Transporter. This one is hard to explain, but it basically just adds granular sound to your melodies. The way I set it up is I usually have my octave all the way up. This is all the way up, and then my reverse is all the way up. I usually set it to tempo mode. The spread is either left or right, and then I just let the sample kind of do its thing. Now this sample is very busy, so I'm just going to turn on the effect just so you guys hear what it actually creates instead of hearing it with. So this is what we're creating from the sample, and you get these really unique textures that you can't get. We could even switch the timing here to create more granular sounds. So this is a plugin you just use by ear. You might technically know what does what, but really as a sound designer, I'm just doing stuff by ear and just kind of finding that sweet spot for most sounds. Nextly is my plugin at busyworksbeats.com/Hades. This plugin is called Hades, and it's just, I created this to have a bunch of parameters you guys could just tweak. So what it does is it shapes dimension of your sound. So let's quickly dial in a tone. Now the secret here is if you push the input gain, it creates a unique effect. Whoa, let's pull that back. Hear that pitch wobble effect? That's a creative thing when you push the input hard enough. So rumble boosts the low end here to make the sample more round. Compressor is handling that side image. So now it feels like a whole different sample if I turn this off. Turn it on, now it feels more controlled. And we can mess with the pitch attack and release for that input gain effect. So this is built like a guitar pedal. We can turn up the sizzle on the sides. For drums, you could even use the clipper function here. We don't have any drums transients, so that's not gonna do much. And I recommend you guys mess with the width tilt, because this will change the perception of the sound, as well as the width knob here. Just gonna leave those. Okay, so it just quickly goes through dimension for your sound. It just adds that extra little dimension. Here's before. Here's after. It just feels more controlled. It feels more, you know, it's the little subtle things about melodies. Next is the plugin called Kilohertz Bit Crush. Most people think this just adds this ringy tone like this. But if you guys turn up what's called the D to AC quality, digital to analog quality conversion, it gets rid of that ringy noise. So now you can emulate different drum machines like a MPC, typing in 40 kilohertz, and then at 12 bits, right click to create values here. And now we have the MPC 60 sample rate and bit reduction. Now again, you're not going to hear much of that on this sample, but let's say you wanted to create the Drake underwater effect, you just lower your sample rate. And now we have the Drake underwater effect, just like that. Next is a plugin called Fruity Delay 3. And I'm just going to leave that underwater effect on because it's pretty cool. Now, this plugin is very complex. I don't have time to really explain everything. The short answer is if you turn the dry level down, turn feedback level down, turn delay time down, everything else becomes an effect. So now if I turn up my modulation time, it creates a wobble. I'll exaggerate it so you guys can hear. So this is like free RC20. You can lower the sample rate here. It's hard to do though. You gotta be careful. There's a cutoff filter built in. There's a saturation. So you can get pretty advanced with this plugin here. And if you want chorusing, bring in the dry level. So it gets pretty complex. Okay, so most people don't know Fruity Delay 3 can do all that. The next plugin is Zenology FX. I always heard about Zenology, the plugin for the synth, but not the effects. So there's a secret thing in here. If you go to, where's it at here? Looper. Go to DJ Effects Looper. And basically you can stutter the track. So we're going to tap on the loop button anytime I want to activate this effect. Okay, so that like the SP44 performance type sound, we can get that out of this. There's other effects too that we can modulate, but that's the coolest one that I found is that looper mode. And what you would do to record that is just have Edison at the end of your effects chain and then record the audio into Edison from the effects chain. And that's how you record that effect. Okay, nextly is Genome. This is just the revolution of all things future music production. It's too, again, complicated to explain everything about everything, but look up NAM, Neural Amp Modeler. From there, you will go down a rabbit hole and you look up NAM profiles. Okay, that's the starting point. There's a lot more information about that, but I have to be short for the video. So this, we can basically run our sound through an analog outboard piece of gear as if we had it in our studio. And it's not an emulation, it's an actual machine learned AI process. So I'm running it through a distressor compressor right now. So now it's smoothing off the edges of the sound. Okay, so there's a lot of benefits to that. Okay, there's clippers, there's compressors you can run it through. You have to buy the NAM profiles from different companies. My favorite companies are Past the Future Reverbs and Analog XAI. Makes really good NAM profiles. Okay, so look that company up. Next, the plugin in here is called Hypercor. This is just great for Travis Scott sound. It's just a really dense chorus. Built right inside of FL Studio. That one's kind of straightforward. The next one is called BXXL V3. This is great for like hip hop stuff. Just trying to add that extra saturation to a sound and just the width to a sound. So I'll just kind of move through the plugin and show you what we can do for this sample. The sample's kind of already done, but if we wanted to edit different things. So here I can boost the lows, the saturation of the lows. In the mono signal, here we could do the mono mid signal. Pull up those harmonics very gently, and then we could do the side image here as well. You could also boost this, and I think this is a compressor. I don't know what this is. So I don't know what the threshold does. I'm not sure, but I just use these simple knobs up top. And then we could also make certain frequencies mono very quickly. So like anything below 80, we could pull that mono. So here's off. Here's on. It's the extra little bit that adds life to a sample. Just depends on the sample. Next, my favorite compressor of all time. Thank you, Mixbus TV, for putting me onto this one. This is just the sound I was going for, and I didn't know how to achieve it. Everybody says it's the ear, not the gear. I think that's a big lie. Some stuff you just can't get the sound of, no matter how hard you try with the Fruity compressor. You're not going to get this sound. You need this plugin specifically. This one's called MD4HD the high-res multiband dynamics MD4 by TC Electronic. It just gets the sound right. And I'll show you how I use it. There's a lot to explain though, but I'll just edit this to show you guys what it can sound like. So this is regular compression. It just smooths out the sample so well. But let's put it on parallel compression. So now we get dynamic, but we also get the sample to breathe. And then we also have parallel UL mode, which is a more dynamic mode in my opinion. Focus more on the high end. So let's A/B this real quick. Here's before. Now here's after. It just controls the sample. Here's before. And now here's after. So that compressor is literally becoming my favorite compressor. I have more like technical effects plugins, but if you guys want part 2, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let me know if you want part 2, which will be more of my like favorite compressor EQ type plugins instead of just creative sound design effects. Thank you guys for watching. Go to busyworksbeats.com/Hades to find my Hades plugin. Peace out, guys.